So are you someone who's looking to make your neck faster than what it already is? Of course you are. You did click on this link. So this week's video is more focused towards getting your gear up to date and faster, like the way that you want it. A small misconception, or something rather which even I had till a few years back, was the factor that whenever you start playing on the neck and you start seeing that glossy finish at the back of the neck, it actually means that you can play faster. It is physics after all. When you think about it, the shinier the surface, the more smoother it's supposed to be. But well, it's not. Keep in mind that the advice given in this video is for high gloss, polyurethane, acrylic and other finishes. Nitro finishes are a very different thing, and if your guitar has a nitro finish, you don't need to get into this. So if you're someone who's purchased a new guitar which pretty much has a painted back and it feels a bit rubbery when you actually play on it, this is something which is actually caused by the coating of the guitar. A lot of people given high-end instruments with a satin finish. This satin finish is what you guys need when you need to move your hand down the neck. This method also comes in handy whenever it's an old guitar which you've played for years together and it starts developing that smoothness at the back because of the way that you have used it and also the factor of all the materials which might be used over the surface. All you need are these materials. You need a good masking tape which does not leave any residue behind. You will need 2 grits of sandpaper. One preferably 400, which is used for the first layer. The second one, for me personally, I prefer a 2000. This is something which is quite arbitrary and it's up to your discretion if you want to change it or not use it at all, because it depends on the smoothness of it which you would prefer the guitar neck to have. So let's just dive into the process. As I treated before, this process can be done both for natural necks and painted necks. For this situation, we're going to use the painted neck because it's going to appear much more visibly. So let me take this other guitar away. As with any neck, the main thing that you'll have to do is the factor that you'll have to mask up all the frets and the fretboard. So take your masking tape and let's start. After taping it, make sure none of the fretboard or frets are actually overlapped or visible because we don't want to damage these. Now we can begin the process. And just to show you guys the difference, I'm going to demonstrate this by doing it just for half of the neck. Just doing one side and leaving the other side be natural. So yeah. We'll have to start the process off with the 400 grit wallpaper or sandpaper, sorry, and this is the one. So you just kind of hold it a bit curved within the hand so as to not apply too much pressure, and you can slowly start sanding the surface off of the neck. As I said before, don't apply too much pressure and don't worry about the residue which is coming out. This is quite common whenever it comes to either guitars. After each of the sanding process, you can wipe it down with a cloth, both wet or dry. Or both, this is actually going to help sustain the whole thing. So after you do it with the wet cloth, you just take another dry cloth and then you go ahead with it. Now you need to repeat this whole thing with up to 1000 grit sandpaper. So as the same way, hold it in the back of your hand and start the process. Now, half of the neck is ready. So let's take a look. Let's just remove. As you can see, this is the halfway mark, and when you put a finger down on the satin end, it just makes it so clean, and then it gets kind of stuck on the glossy end. So this is the same thing which is going to happen even if it doesn't have a gloss in it. It kind of ends up being a bit more stickier than it is. So yeah, let's get to finishing the whole neck now. Be careful whenever you come near the heel of the guitar, because at this place we kind of have to be careful when we're sanding it down. We don't want any scratches or anything on the rest of the body, so just be careful. And as you can see here, we're not removing the complete paint, it's just a small layer that's getting removed. Now the process is almost completed. As you can see, the complete neck feels satin. So go ahead and remove the masking tape. Now since we didn't spend a lot of time on the guitar, it looks a bit off, but trust me, it plays like butter. You can spend a bit more time to even out the sanding, and this will make it look better as well. It's all up to you guys. So as you saw in the video, this is something which is quite easy and can be done by anyone. This is going to get your hands flying up and down the frets. So this process essentially removes a small layer from the fretboard, hardly a few microns worth. So you don't need to think of the factor that this is going to damage your neck in any way, or is it going to bring harm to your guitar. But what you do need to keep in mind is that this satin finish is only going to last you for probably a few months or years, depending on how much you use your guitar. So every time that you feel that the stickiness is back into it and you can feel that resistance when you're trying to move your hand, you can always do the process all over again. As we said, if it starts developing that stickiness on the back of the neck, you know what to do. Or if not, you can just go back to the beginning of the video. Or rather, now that I think about it, go back, watch the video again, grab your friends, make them watch the video, make sure all of you guys subscribe, because at this point of time, we need the audience. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and make sure you click on that bell icon. That's when you get to know a new video has been released from us. So do you have any suggestions? Have you tried a different method which actually makes your neck better? Have you tried the method which we just told you and are happy about it? Let us know in the comments down below. And as always, stay metal.
We are TUGGtv. Watch TUGGtv. Stay metal.
Stay metal.
Oh my god, this is much better what you imagined.